Hey fam, if you've watched part 1 and part 2, you know what I went through. The diagnosis, the pain nobody could explain, the miracle that followed. What I haven't told you yet is that I wrote this book, Holy Rebel, in the middle of all of it. Not after, not once everything was resolved and wrapped up with a bow, but during, while I was still hunched over, while I was still in pain, while I was still crying, while I still didn't have my answers yet. I didn't write this book because I had it all together. I wrote it because I didn't, and God told me to write it anyway. Holy Rebel is about exactly what the title says, being a holy rebel for what's holy, standing apart, being unburnable when the fire comes. And the fire came for me in a very real, very physical way. There's a story in the Bible, Daniel chapter 3, about 3 young men named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The fire boys, I like to call them. They were thrown into a furnace for refusing to bow to anything but God. And the fire didn't touch them. Not one time. Not even the smell of smoke was on their clothes. That's the name of the movement I started. Unburnable. Because I believe this generation isn't being called to avoid the fire. We're being called to walk through it and come out without the smell of smoke on us. This book hit Amazon's #1 spot twice. Not because I'm special, because the message is true, because there are thousands of young people walking through their own version of what I went through, and they need to know they're not alone and they're not forgotten. If my story moved you over these past few weeks, Holy Rebel goes even deeper. It's everything I couldn't fit into these videos. And I want to start something bigger than just me telling my story. I want to hear yours because God is doing something insane with all of his children. And it's time to get these testimonies out there. If you've watched part 1 and part 2, you know what I went through. But let's hear yours. So here's what I'm asking. Comment below or stitch this video or duet it. And tell me one thing you're believing God for right now that feels impossible. I read every single one. This one is for you.